This scholarship has impacted me personally because now I have the ability to focus on just my schooling instead of focusing on the financial aspects of dealing with college and university.
Scholarships have impacted me personally because without scholarships, it would be very difficult for me to afford to go to school.
The first person I told about the scholarship were my parents because they're really excited that I got the scholarship. Also, my mom was the alumni at UMBC, so it made her really happy to hear that I now got a scholarship.
The first person I told was my mom, actually. She's been the main person who supported me through school since day one. I actually started off at community college, so ever since the first time I started at community college, she supported me all the way through community college, all the way through here. So I always like for her to share in my successes.
This is an important scholarship to support because it tells students that you're being seen, you're being heard, that previous faculty, current faculty, prior students recognize the hard work that you're putting in. And sometimes you never know how much just a little bit of money can mean to somebody.
This scholarship is a pretty special scholarship. It's unique in the way that it celebrates students who have relatives who are UMBC alumni while also granting them it based on their own merit.
So UMBC is a growing community, and I can only speak for my own personal program, but there are a lot of students who are very passionate about the academic research happening here, and the staff that I've encountered all are very supportive of each other and have genuine interest in making sure the students succeed and are able to pursue the goals that they want.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as our awardees and speakers take the stage. Welcome to UMBC's 2018 Alumni Awards ceremony and to the Earl and Darielle Linehan Concert Hall. Our first speaker is Mr. John Becker, President of the Alumni Association Board of Directors and a 2001 graduate with a degree in Information Systems.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the 30th Annual Alumni Awards Ceremony. As a representative body of more than 77,000 graduates, 77,000, that's a lot, don't you think? The UMBC Alumni Association and its board of directors are proud to host this signature event every year. Taking a look around at the 340 of you that chose to be with us tonight, I am so happy that Retriever Pride is thriving. We had more than 100 more alumni and friends register this year than last year, and I would like to thank you for continuing to support the Alumni Association. The awards bestowed tonight are presented in coordination with the Office of Institutional Advancement and with the support of the UMBC community. The nomination and selection process is a year-round endeavor led by the Alumni Association Board of Directors Alumni Awards Committee. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge Jennifer Herson, our Alumni Awards Committee Chair. Please stand, Jen. The alumni and faculty who we recognize tonight truly capture the depth of the UMBC community. I'm humbled to share the stage tonight with these remarkable honorees. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge our generous event sponsors. Sponsorship of this event benefits the Alumni Endowed Scholarship Fund, which strives to make a meaningful difference in the lives of deserving students. We aim to help them achieve the dream of receiving a degree from UMBC and joining the ranks of the alumni. The UMBC Alumni Association has awarded more than $135,000 in scholarships over the past 11 years alone and has helped nearly 100 UMBC students graduate. We're happy to recognize tonight's flagship sponsor at the Grit and Greatness level, the alumni-owned Minor in Cash. At the Retriever Believer level, we have Ron Lee and Kara Freeman Lee, the class of 1991, Jeremy Reed, class of 2008 and 2010, Kevin Yang, class of 2007, and Caitlin Yu, class of 2005, Scalable Technologies, LLC, and the Maryland Association of CPAs. Let's give these and sponsors at every level a round of applause for their support of the Alumni Endowed Scholarship Fund. We're also honored this year to welcome over 25 of our former Alumni Award recipients back to campus to celebrate this event's 30th anniversary and to join us in recognizing this year's awardees. I am heartened by the respect and goodwill that our alumni show one another, and tonight is another example of that respect. Thank you very much. Former Alumni Award recipients, please stand now and allow us to recognize you. Heartfelt thanks. In addition to our generous sponsors, I would like to thank Eli Eisenberg, class of 1986, and the founder of VPC Incorporated for producing 3 excellent videos for the ceremony, including one that was featured in our scholarship awardees and one which you saw at the beginning of tonight's program. The Alumni Association greatly appreciates Eli's support. This year, the Alumni Association awarded scholarships to 7 deserving students. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the awardees who are here tonight. Ifoma Azingi, Biology and Psychology, Jessica Davis, Information Systems, Julie Homans in History, Jumina Ito in Biochemistry, Rabi Kaba, Rachel Mansur in Social Work, and Alexa Patasis in Interdisciplinary Studies. Please stand and let's give them all a welcome-deserved round of applause. Where are you guys? Each of you embodies the very grit and greatness that will carry you to UMBC to continued success. We are so proud of you and have a feeling that we'll be seeing you up here on the stage, getting your own Alumni Awards very soon. Before I ask President Hrabowski to say a few words, I would like to offer one reflection about our panel of award recipients this year. We're in a place and time in our nation's history in which we have seen pressure on public civil discourse. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, several high-profile movements have arisen, such as Black Lives Matter and Me Too. The committee did not make a conscious effort this year to award almost a full slate of women, but it was not a surprise to me. And in my opinion, it's a testament to the diversity of our alumni body that such a serendipitous outcome occurred. It's now my pleasure to ask President Freeman Hrabowski to offer his welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. John, give John a round of applause for his leadership of the Alumni. We're thanking you. Good evening. I am delighted to. How many of you are in this facility for the first time? Yeah. So and how many of you are alumni? Let every alum in the camp, and the alumnus, alumna, all of the alumni, stand up. Everybody who's an alum, stand up. Let me see who you are. Wow. Very nice. All the alums. Just for a minute. Just for a minute. And most of you will appreciate this, that when most of you were here, you probably could not have imagined having a facility looking like this, especially in the arts and humanities. Give the arts and humanities a round. We are here to celebrate, and I want, based on what John just said, let me say, I think UMBC has the most amazing students anywhere in the world. Just a fact, give our students a round of applause. They really are. They really are. And so those of you who saw a protest last week probably thought back to the time when you were here, when we also had protests, and it is a part of the American democracy. Thank God that we allow people to say what they really believe and to care about others. Give our students another round of applause. And so you need to know UMBC is better than ever, because anytime you have those kinds of activities from the 60s, when I was involved as a kid, things can have the opportunity then to get better. And you get a chance to hear and listen to people. And so for this campus, it's about safety, it's about respect, it's about understanding another's perspective, it's about making sure that people feel that we are hearing what they say. And for that, I am very grateful that this is a campus that believes in community, that believes so strongly in the power of every voice to make a difference. And that's what tonight is about. It's about the fact that we have some of the most amazing alumni ever, any place. In amazingly 52 years that we can talk about having people who are lawyers and doctors and physicians and scientists and teachers and social workers and judges and artists, and we can go on and on. We have graduates now in the faculties from Harvard to Stanford, the faculty member at Columbia in the classics, the president of Clemson, the head of the Applied Physics Lab at Johns Hopkins University, the chair of neurosurgery at Vanderbilt, many of the faculty over at Hopkins, some of them here, and I can go on. And it's all because of two things. Number one, the sense that we can work to be our best selves. And number two, and most important, you got great students and excellent faculty and staff. So I want all the faculty and retired faculty and staff to stand. Please, let's see who you are. It's really nice. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. And so I congratulate all of our awardees tonight. I congratulate all of you who are back because you have already been celebrated at one time or another. This is a night for celebration. I'll be coming back at the end to talk. I will tell you just two of our achievements that we can think of so many when you think about it. I mean, you look and you see the new facility in interdisciplinary life sciences, but nobody in the country would have imagined in March that we would become the darlings of America. Give the basketball team a round of applause. And quite frankly, people would not have thought that in this young period of time that we would be able to talk about a Rhodes Scholar who's now at Oxford doing a PhD in nuclear engineering. Give her a round of applause. And there's so many more we can talk about, but I want to get on and be inspired. My challenge to you tonight is to listen and learn and be inspired. I'll be back at the end. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Please welcome Greg Simmons, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Mr. Simmons will introduce Kimberly Ellison-Taylor as the Outstanding Alumna of the Year in Engineering and Information Technology.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is my pleasure to introduce, as the voice said, the Outstanding Alumna in Engineering and IT, Kimberly Ellison-Taylor. Kimberly has a great cheering section here tonight. I will take a moment of executive privilege as the chief fundraiser for the campus. In her time here, Kimberly was a charter member of the sorority Sigma Gamma Rho, and a number of her sorors could not be here tonight. So they called with a very pointed direction to me today. They said, make sure she knows that we are donating money to the Alumni Scholarship in her honor, knowing that they couldn't be here. So give them a round So, I'm going to encourage you to read Kimberly's bio in the program. I think when you do, you will see signs of a gifted professional who's really been a visionary for her field, someone who has seen the future in the work that she does and understood that confluence of technology and globalization and where the money matters and how that money's managed, we're going to create problems and solutions that needed to be addressed. And because of her work and her ability to see ahead, it's given her this extraordinary career trajectory, which is outlined in the bio, where she's had leadership positions from county government to federal agencies to corporate America. Today, she's the global strategy director for Oracle's financial services industry group. It's an astonishing career that we know is really continue to go onward for many, many years. you'll see a dedicated volunteer, right, who's understood the importance of her profession and taken that to really do outreach to all kinds of people to help them come into the profession, understand pathways, and because of that, she's gotten additional leadership opportunities. She's the first African-American chair of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, which is an extraordinary accomplishment. I think what you'll see, not just through the program, but through her remarks tonight, and as you get to know her, is that she's that and all more, so many things more. She is a loving mother and spouse and daughter. She's a dear friend. She's somebody who understands what she wants. She's worked extraordinarily hard to get it, and she's reached the pinnacle of her career. And more importantly, she's never forgotten where she's come from, and she's made sure that she's opened pathways for others to continue to have success that she's modeled so well. It's my pleasure to introduce Kimberly Ellison-Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. How excited am I to be here. And Dr. Rabowski, yes, we are the darlings of the world. I can tell you I have colleagues all over the world who were sending me congratulations, and I graciously accepted them, just like if I was on the court and I was given the plays, and I said, see, this is what happened. So I was delighted to see us recognized in yet another way. And so I just want to, in my very, few remarks that we have here this evening, is just to tell you how grateful I am that I am standing on this stage. There are so many accomplished individuals who have come through UMBC, and yet here I stand among the most amazing people that I have ever met in my life. UMBC provided a foundation of unparalleled opportunity. It empowered, enabled, equipped, and energized me to succeed. Today, I stand at the intersection of accounting and technology. The CPA part of me is because the foundation I received in critical thinking and good judgment, those skills that I learned from my classes at UMBC, have served me in good stead. What I learned from a technology perspective has enabled me to speak all around the world about digital disruption, engagement, transformation, and how technology is changing the world at an unparalleled pace. I learned all of those things at UMBC. I met my husband here. So that was awesome, right? So I was getting my MRS while I was working on my BA and BS. So I'm very grateful for that. I learned about compassion at UMBC. I came from the inner city of Baltimore, the Sandtown Winchester community, graduating from, let me see, there must be some other Sandtown Winchester people here. I graduated valedictorian from Carver Vocational Technical High School. I know that statistically, I should not be standing here, but I'm here to say that I learned about the A game. My parents provided the fertilization for the seeds that gave me good core values. Work hard, pay your dues. Don't, step on people's toes on your way to the top. Remember, everyone is the same. Regardless of whether they're the janitor or CEO, everyone deserves respect and dignity. Thank you, thank you. But what I also learned is about community service, greater progress, with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And so I learned a lot about paying it forward. I learned what to whom much is given, much is required, what that meant in my life. And I know that the principles of sowing and reaping are ever so true. And so as I stand here, hopefully representing you as an alumna of UMBC, I hope I'm making you proud, so that you can also tell others of this story, that when people say it's impossible, that we can't learn, we can't do, we can't think, that you can say, I met a young lady from the inner city of Baltimore, and UMBC helped her realize that the difficult is really easy and impossible takes just a little bit longer. Thank you so much, UMBC, for all that you've done. Thank you. Thank you.
Please welcome the Honorable Alan Kittleman, a previous Outstanding Alumnus Award recipient. Mr. Kittleman will introduce Ms. Zainab El-Kibsi as this year's Rising Star Award recipient.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be with you, and as a 1981 graduate of UMBC, this... Give him a hand. No, yeah, right. Most of you in the audience weren't even born when I graduated from here. And I did not expect ever to see this at UMBC. But it's a pleasure to be with you, and it's a pleasure to be able to introduce an amazing young woman. A point of personal privilege for me as well, Mr. Simmons too, my wife Robin is here. And my wife Robin taught this young woman when she was in preschool. And that's what makes this even more special for us to be with Zainab tonight. So it is my pleasure to introduce our next honoree, Zainab El-Kibsi, a policy counsel for the National Association for the Deaf. Ms. El-Kibsi provides analysis, recommendations, and counsel to the NAD on policy issues affecting deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind individuals. Growing up, Ms. El-Kibsi always knew she wanted to become a lawyer. I'm a lawyer, that's good. Hoping to break down barriers to accessibility for the deaf and hard of hearing community. In her role with NAD, Ms. El-Kibsi is tasked with doing just that, interfacing with government agencies, Congress, coalitions, media, and businesses on all issues affecting deaf and hard of hearing communities. Lending her advocacy efforts to current UMBC students, Ms. El-Kibsi serves as a guest lecturer in a class focused on the deaf community and its culture. She also serves on the board of Deaf Visa, which partners with UMBC's Signs of Life ASL Club for deaf-friendly events on campus. Please join me in welcoming Zainab El-Kibsi as UMBC's 2018 Rising Star recipient.
Thank you so much. So I also have to say I'm amazed to see this beautiful building here on campus, and I'm thrilled for the basketball team. So I also want to say thank you so much to UMBC and to Howard County Executive Alan Kittleman for his honor. It is very humbling to be back on my old stomping grounds and be recognized for my work. This has been a long yet rewarding journey. Ever since I was 11 years old, I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer advocating for the rights of deaf and hard of hearing people. And now, here I am. I remember sitting in the movie theater as a young preteen, upset that the other moviegoers were laughing at the comedic dialogue while I could not understand a thing. There were no closed captions in movie theaters back then. And in that moment, I resolved that I was going to go to law school and advocate for full, equal access. And now, here I am, part of a select group of a few hundred deaf and hard of hearing attorneys nationwide and in the trenches of the battle to break down barriers to accessibility for the deaf and hard of hearing community. In my role as policy counsel of the National Association of the Deaf, I advocate for stronger regulations to ensure that all deaf and hard of hearing people have access to all walks of life. Employment, education, transportation, telecommunications, emergency communications, video programming, technology, and more. My greatest professional success and challenge to date has brought me full circle from my 11-year-old self. After 7 months of grueling negotiations with major airlines for caption access to in-flight entertainment, we reached consensus for 100% captioning. On my next flight, I saw captioning on the in-flight entertainment for the first time. I had goosebumps. I imagined my daughter, who is now 5 months old, when she is older, in the future boarding a flight or going to the movies and knowing the role her mother played in ensuring greater accessibility in such instances. I would be remiss if I did not thank the wonderful professors and interpreters here at UMBC who encouraged my personal and professional growth. I also want to thank my loving parents who provided me every opportunity. Their determination and drive served as my model. I would not be the person I am today if not for their support and encouragement. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank my husband and daughter. You both make me want to be a better advocate. Thank you. Also, I would like to thank former professors who are here in the audience. And could you please my former professors? Robin? All right, thank you. You're the best.
Please welcome Dr. Kathleen Hoffman, Professor of Mathematics and Statistics, and Dr. David Mitch, Professor and Chair of the Department of Economics. Doctors Hoffman and Mitch will introduce Dr. Mark Doms as the Outstanding Alumnus of the Year in Natural and Mathematical Sciences.
Thank you. Dr. Mark Doms has spent his career as an economist focused on public policy, particularly economic policy. With his educational background in mathematics and economics, he developed an interdisciplinary approach to his specialties of monetary policy, forecasting, labor force development, innovation, big data, and applied microeconomics, and working with extremely large data sets. As a UMBC student, with the help of numerous faculty members, Doms was able to participate in research, allowing him to publish his first paper before graduation and begin his career examining the cost and benefit of state policies and programs. He continued on to pursue a PhD, completing his dissertation working at the U.S. Census Bureau, the home of big data at the time.
As Dr. Doms' career has grown, he's given hundreds of presentations, appeared regularly on television, and is also a prolific writer, with research placing him in the top 3% of economists as measured by citations. In 2009, Dr. Doms joined the Obama administration as chief economist at the Department of Commerce, advising the Obama administration on a wide variety of issues, including trade, competitiveness, innovation, and education. In January 2013, the U.S. Senate confirmed Mark Doms as Undersecretary for Economic Affairs at the Department of Commerce. After leaving the Obama administration, Dr. Doms worked for 2 years at Nomura Securities, Japan's largest investment bank. Mark is unable to join us in person. However, he sent remarks from Europe, so please turn your attention to the screen for Dr. Mark Doms, the 2018 Outstanding Alumnus in Natural and Mathematical Sciences.
Hi, I'm Mark Doms. Thanks to all of you for attending tonight's annual UMBC Alumni Awards ceremony. And special thanks to the awards committee, to Professor David Mitch, and to also Professor Kathleen Hoffman. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there in person. I'm in Europe for the next several months, and I couldn't get back to Baltimore for tonight's event. However, please notice that wherever I go, I bring my retriever gear. In fact, I was on a family vacation this past spring, and this guy comes up to me when I'm wearing this outfit and goes, "No way, is this some sort of joke?" And it turns out he was the official announcer for the UVA's men's basketball team and thought one of his friends arranged a prank. Not a prank, I explained. I'm retriever proud. I also explained we've had some pretty awesome chess teams. Briefly, UMBC provided me a fantastic education without putting me and my family in great debt. Retrievers benefit from the excellent faculty, from the facilities, and just the opportunities. I couldn't have gotten a better education anywhere else. When I went to graduate school, when I worked at the Federal Reserve, I served in the Obama administration, and did a stint on Wall Street, I really do think my UMBC education served me very well. Math taught me how to think logically, be able to analyze data appropriately. My economics classes, which I just loved, taught me how to think about the world's problems in a rigorous analytic manner, hopefully leading to better policy choices. More importantly, UMBC also instilled in me a sense of public service. That sense came from the professors and from the institution itself. And this sense of public service then resonated with my career choices, most of which had been in the public sector. And when I returned to the U.S., one of the things that I expect to do is to teach part-time at a public university wherever I end up living within the United States. I greatly benefited from the people who lived in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area who taught at UMBC, and I want to repay that in some small way. So maybe your children will have me as a professor one day. I certainly hope so. Again, thanks to everybody, thanks to the committee, thanks again to Professors Mitch and Hoffman, and for this award. This is just really great. And again, I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go Retrievers.
Please welcome Christopher Corbett, Professor of the Practice in the Department of English. Mr. Corbett will introduce Ms. Saira Khan as the Outstanding Alumna of the Year in the Humanities.
Thanks. In less than a decade, Saira Khan has accomplished more than some aspiring journalists might achieve in an entire career. Today, she holds a very vital and challenging position as social media director at The New Yorker, which is generally regarded as the most significant literary and cultural magazine in the country, soon to celebrate its 100th anniversary. Ms. Khan was a founding member of Facebook's trending team, providing real-time editorial insight and curation for the social media platform. After graduating from UMBC in 2009, where she was an English major, I want to remind you of that, she worked in financial publishing and in freelance writing for Dawn, which is the major English newspaper in Pakistan. She also worked for the Baltimore Sun before moving on to New York, where she pursued graduate study at Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism. A native speaker of Urdu, Ms. Khan moves seamlessly between two very complicated worlds, a particularly important asset for a young journalist. In addition to being published in the New York Times, as a freelance writer, Ms. Khan's work has also appeared in numerous publications, including The Atlantic and Bustle. And in addition to these accomplishments, in December of 2016, she was involved with the founding of High Strung, a monthly e-newsletter with fellow New York-based creatives. Their work has been featured in a variety of local and national publications. Please join me in welcoming Saira Khan.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this very short. I came to UMBC through my sister. She actually recommended the school to me, and it was one of the best decisions I have made in my life. I graduated from here in 2009 with a degree in English, but beyond that, I left this place with relationships that I have carried with me for the past 10 years. There's people sitting right here. I left with relationships with professors like Professor Corbett, who have helped me make almost every decision I've made in my professional career, from the direction I was going to go in after I graduated to applying to grad school and making career decisions after that. And when people ask me about my college experience, that's what I say. I left here with relationships that I've carried with me for 10 years, and I know that I will have with me for the rest of my life. And for that, I will be forever grateful. Thank you.
Please welcome Dr. Kathy Odell, Associate Professor in the Department of Visual Arts. Dr. Odell will introduce Dr. Mina Cheon as the Outstanding Alumna of the Year in Visual and Performing Arts.
Greetings. I am thrilled to introduce this year's Outstanding Alumna in Visual and Performing Arts, Dr. Mina Cheon. Mina is a global new media artist, a scholar, and an educator. Most recently, she was featured in the Busan Biennale, and that's a major exhibition in Korea. And there, she became a press sensation when Korea's President and First Lady came to the exhibition and spent a good deal of time at a part of the exhibition, an installation in which was featured hundreds of Korea's favorite confection, the choco pie. And they ate choco pies with Mina. This is the most frequently smuggled item across the border from South to North Korea, the choco pie. Speaking of smuggling, Mina is also known for her risk-taking work titled Amma, Masked Games, Motherly Love, North Korea. Central to this project were 10 videos, they're still in existence, which she loaded onto thumb drives, put in balloons, and flew over the South to North Korea border. In these videos, she delivers thinly veiled, politicized art history lessons in her artist persona as Professor Kim, the teacherly incarnation of another alter ego, artistic ego, North Korean Kim Il-soon. Other and very real personae include new media artist and scholar represented by the Ethan Cohen Gallery in New York, scholar with 2 M.F.As, fortunately, one from us, and 1 PhD, author of an ahead-of-its-time book titled Shamanism and Cyberspace, MICA professor, devoted mentor, and founder of a yearly graduate award for our very own IMDA graduates. Dr. Cheon is a treasure, both locally and internationally. Please help me celebrate Dr. Mina Cheon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Kathy Odell, for your introduction and your nomination for this prestigious Alumni Award. I'm grateful and honored to stand amongst the recipients of this award for outstanding achievements in their respective fields. Having a 6-month-old son, Gerson Croix, in my arms as I received my M.F.A. degree in 2002 at UMBC, I'm especially honored and proud to be standing here today as a parent of UMBC's honored college student who is majoring in math. Thank you for being the leading visionary STEAM research community where I grew abundantly and where my son will be nurtured to flourish in his academic track. Gerson, please stand up and say hi to your community. While I'm up here, I wanted to dedicate my thank you remarks by contemplating on the role of the artist and the influence of education. Every professional field includes leaders, advocates, team players, and supporters. But I believe that all artists end up assuming the role of a leader. by being producers of original work, by organizing projects to impact community, and by imparting artistic and design decisions every step of the way. The artist's work and message comes with a vision, and to execute the work of a vision requires leadership, management, inspiration, and production. And today's artists strive to make a difference in society. Artists are agents of change, not only by ways of introducing new creative and critical perspectives, but also by promoting solutions for a better tomorrow, whether it is for equality, justice, civility, peace, or safety. In turn, the educational environment is the place that helps the artist to learn and grow. It is also the place to learn what it means to be beyond the individual and become a part of a community. As such, UMBC's community is a place where quality education is a priority, and that the vision for student and education, innovation, and research is supported equally. Inside this campus of excellence in science, technology, engineering, and math, the humanities and arts are genuinely integrative. From there, the visual arts, imaging digital arts, IMDA, known as Intermediate Digital Arts M.F.A. today, is the place that helps produce the total artist, who is nurtured for innovative thinking, writing, art making, and use of technology. It incubates experts in our new media field to perform art projects in social spaces that matter, as witnessed by every IMDA alumni career that are distinct and bold and that define what art is capable of today. I'm honored to be one of them and to be amongst them. So my big thank you in celebrating with my alumni colleagues is to my mentors, such as Kathy Odell, and to the faculty and staff of the Visual Arts Department for their years of dedication and excellence in curriculum and delivery, and for shaping the future by empowering the artist in society. Thank you.
Please welcome Dr. Carolyn Forestier, Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Political Science. Dr. Forestier will introduce the Honorable Wanda Keys-Hurd as the Outstanding Alumna of the Year in the Social and Behavioral Sciences.
Good evening. It is truly an honor and pleasure to be here tonight. In December of 2017, Chief Judge Wanda Keys-Hurd was appointed Chief Judge after serving as Circuit Court Judge in Baltimore City for 19 years. The first female Chief Judge in the history of the 8th Judicial Circuit, Chief Judge Hurd is well known on and off the bench for her commitment to service, both to the community she serves as Associate Judge for the Circuit Court for Baltimore City, as well to aspiring students, interns, and new attorneys. Through her judicial internship program, Chief Judge Hurd has mentored more than 25 students from UMBC, along with a host of law students, interns, and new attorneys. Area elementary and middle school students still benefit from the mock trial programs Chief Judge Hurd started when her own daughter, now an adult, was young. While she has received numerous awards over her 36-year legal career, Chief Judge Hurd considers the receipt of the Thurgood Marshall Award for Judicial Excellence by the Baltimore chapter of the NAACP in 2013 as one of her proudest accomplishments. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's Outstanding Alumna in Social Sciences, Chief Judge Wanda Keys-Hurd.
Good evening, everyone. It's funny, I prepared written remarks, so, judges, we kind of go on and on, but I didn't want to do that, and as I listened to the other honorees, they said the same thing that I'm going to say to you. So it's consistent, President Hrabowski. I have to thank you so much for this award. Almost 40 years ago, I set foot on this campus. My mother is here, Frances Keys, and Mom, remember we came down from New York, and we visited all these different schools that I had interest in. We went down the road to a place called College Park, but it was really too big for me. We were headed back to New York, and I saw the sign on I-95. It said, UMBC. And I said, I think that's on my list. And so they took the exit, and we came past a silo. I'm a New Yorker, did I say? And I said, okay, let's just check it out. Well, the road was a loop. It had a circle, and there was a pond. But it was quaint and nice, and it caught my eye. And as we were driving around, I thumbed through the catalog, and in the political science department, I saw the name of Dr. Levy and his credentials. I saw the program that they had set forth for pre-law or political science majors, and that was my interest. And as I thumbed through the list, I saw the dorms. There were 3. Dorm 1, Dorm 2, and Dorm 3. And then there were these things that were circles. They looked like spaceships. That was the cafeteria. Now, as I'm talking about that, some of these people in this room know what I'm talking about, because you were on that campus when I was on that campus. So I'm going to ask you to stand up right now. Come on. Jose Anderson, David Young. Okay, everybody, these are my friends. And when you talk about family, they're here tonight because they're still my family after 40 years. I embraced this campus, and it embraced me. And I'd found not only my academic home, Mom, I found my home away from home. Because I was 250 miles from home, and not a day was I ever homesick. I loved it here. I became an RA in the dorms. I got involved in student government, and I did have a bullhorn one time, and I went up in the administration building. I had a big afro, and Angela Davis was kind of my idol. We'll not talk about that. Anyway, but that was the spring of 1976 when there was some dynamic women. They came walking onto UMBC campus wearing my favorite color, royal blue. And when they walked in, they spoke of sisterhood and scholarship and service. And they went to UMBC too, but the older ladies, they were saying that they were still involved in sisterhood, scholarship, and sisterly love. Some of my sorors are here. Z-Phi! They're up in the back. Would you please stand up, ladies? Everyone, you see, that sorority was a perfect fit for me and 17 other young ladies. And I'm still active in Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated because of the commitment and those principles. My sorors are here, but there are fraternity brothers here. Gary Brooks, I saw you. Where are you? And some of my other fraternity brothers. We all went to UMBC at the same time. As I said, I found not only friends, but I found family. In 1979, I was the senior class president. I spoke at graduation. I looked at that speech, Whitney. You found it in Dad's things when my father passed. He had my speech, and he had the program from graduation. And she showed it to me, and she said, "Did you really say these things?" I said, "Yeah, I really did. I'm going to tell you the good stuff," I said. Because it's true today. I learned critical thinking from Professor Boyan. UMBC had prepared me for law school. I was blessed to walk the halls of Congress and follow the Honorable Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm because I had a political science internship on Capitol Hill. I was privileged to have the support of an outstanding advisor, Professor Philip Brenner. Dr. Lanoux wrote a book about UMBC, he did. He titled it Improbable Excellence, and I would submit I am the product of that improbable excellence. Because of UMBC, I was truly challenged by top-notch professors in every department. I even took a dance class, and there was a professor called Olu. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about because she was a taskmaster. But UMBC helped prepare me to accomplish my professional goals, break through race and gender bias and barriers, because I was a woman headed into a field where people just didn't look like me. There's something very special about this campus. If you went to UMBC, if you've been at UMBC, you know what I mean. Some people say we're small. Our president says grit and greatness. Over and over, the school has outperformed those who would underestimate it. And you can look at March Madness as just an indication. But you need only look at the bios of those that are being honored along with me today to know that we are more than capable of beating a #1 seed. As you know, I'm the chief judge, but what you may not know is that there are on the bench with me a host of UM alums. And when we beat the University of Virginia, we had a little wager with some of those other judges that went to UVA. But I'll just tell you some of the names. They may be here tonight. Judges Kendra Osby, Karen Friedman, Charles Dorsey, Edward Hargadon, David Young, I saw him over there, Marcella Holland, Yolanda Tonner, just to name a few. So in 2019, it will mark 40 years since my graduation from UMBC. I'm absolutely thrilled that you have chosen me. I am absolutely tickled that after all these years you even thought of me. I too think that this school has stars on the horizon, and one of them just left me as an intern from UMBC. He's sitting right there, and his name is Randall Ainsworth. He has red hair in the top, but I'm gonna tell you, watch out for him. One day, he'll be standing up here, and he may be running this institution. Thank you so much, everyone.
Please welcome alumna Donna Heckler. Mrs. Heckler will introduce Mrs. Mimi Hall Dietrich as the Distinguished Service Award recipient.
I've heard some people tonight talking about knowing people for 30 and 40 years and having 3 dorms. There are some of us who had 3 buildings. And no dorms. We didn't get dorms until the second half of our senior year. And if you walked on this campus in 1966, when we did, we could not have imagined this. And when you've been friends with people sitting here for 50 plus years, it's amazing. If you look in the dictionary under the word community, you will see a picture of Mimi Haw Dietrich. Many communities benefit from her loving, steadfast commitment and leadership. Her family, where her young grandson proudly wears a UMBC onesie, her church, her senior center, her beloved high school, Institut of Notre Dame, fellow cancer survivors, and finally quilters, where she teaches nationwide. She's published 19 books and was inducted into the Quilters Hall of Fame and named the 1913 Professional Quilt Teacher of the Year. Tonight we celebrate Mimi's commitment to the community of UMBC. She taught an American Studies course on campus, is a former member of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, was a pivotal volunteer planner for the 25th reunion, and is a longtime holder of UMBC season basketball tickets. Her husband, Bob, was at the game. Currently, she's the leader of the Fab Four Committee, a group of graduates from the first 4 classes. This group of about 25 alums, including myself, her husband, Bob, and some other people in those rows there, planned and hosted the various events at the UMBC 50th anniversary celebration. The committee shares stories of our years here and encourages Fab Four involvement in this dynamic, cutting-edge university. We've already started planning our upcoming 50th graduation. We're not old enough to have a 50th graduation. And that's going to be in the year 2020. May I introduce you to Mimi?
It is overwhelming to be honored just for doing something that you love. I came to UMBC in 1966 as a member of the first class because Dr. Alvin O. Kuhn promised us that we would be pioneers. He would love this. He would love this. He would love this. UMBC taught me many things that have been valuable in my career as a quilter, a writer, and a teacher. How to think bravely out of the box. How to organize my thoughts and write concisely. How to speak without saying the word all the time. How to teach, how to give back, how to live, and how to love. So I need to share this award and thank my husband, Bob, who I met at UMBC 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Yay, Bob! Whew. I also share it with my friends from the Fab Four, the first 4 graduating classes, and I think they need a hand. They're spread all around. We reunited to plan events for the 50th anniversary and share our stories. Each time we got together, I was inspired by my friends' enthusiasm for, get this, retrieving our memories. Okay. We planted the seeds for UMBC's greatness many years ago just by believing in a new university. At the last GritX talks, Donna had an aha moment, a huge aha moment. Wow, we started this. We spoke to Dr. Hrabowski about this, and he acknowledged very simply that UMBC belongs to us. It belongs to all of us. That was a powerful moment. So we jokingly call ourselves the oldest living alumni. We got you all beat. We got everybody beat in this whole room, okay? Everybody, okay. Every time I come on campus, I am astounded not only with the physical growth, but with the amazing students and their stories. I have met engineers without borders who travel to Africa, students who travel to Africa to bring water to communities. I've met a master chess player, and I have met history-making basketball players. One of my favorites that I met last year was a basketball cheerleader. We were walking out from one of the final games that were played here on campus, and she told me that she looks for us at all the games. That kind of blew me away. You know, we don't know how we're influencing other people. So we all strive to do great things. But sometimes it's just important to reach out and communicate with each other. I am proud to be a retriever. I'm waiting for my brother to do something right now. Are you ready? Woof, 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 woof. Come on, come on. Woof, 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 woof. There he is. Yeah. Thank you, John. John drove all the way up from North Carolina to be here tonight. Whoa. I didn't know if I could do that, but that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I am proud to be a retriever, and I am proud to receive this award because I treasure my connection to UMBC. So I challenge each of you to cherish your connection to UMBC. Talk to a student, volunteer your time, support a scholarship, hug an alum, or a president. You too. UMBC is a very special place. Thank you so much.
Please welcome Jeremy Drew, UMBC alumnus from the class of 2017. Mr. Drew will introduce Dr. Maria Jose Castellanos as this year's Outstanding Faculty Award recipient.
Good evening. Good evening. Over the course of my time at UMBC in the Chemical Engineering Department, Dr. Maria Jose Castellanos served formally as my teacher, employer, and advisor. But those three categories don't begin to cover the roles that she played in my undergraduate career. Notably, Dr. Castellanos, or Dr. C as she prefers we call her, transformed the way we learned in class so that it was more engaging. She was the first professor who truly showed me the value in trying a problem that I wasn't sure how to solve. Dr. C received a 2013 Rabowski Innovation Fund seed grant, has advised 24 undergraduate independent study projects, participates in the Faculty Development Center and professional conferences focused on pedagogy and college-level teaching, and contributes to numerous campus committees and initiatives outside of the Chemical Engineering Department. Yet Dr. C's most compelling endorsements come from her current and former students, whose feedback helped earn her the rare Exceptional Instructor rating from a recent ABET evaluation. As part of the nomination, former students contributed feedback in support of this outstanding faculty nomination, ranging from this past year all the way back to the first class she taught, the graduating class of 2008. One student writes, Dr. C cares about the well-being of her students and adapts to each of their individual needs in order to bring them the most comprehensive education possible. That quote sums up why it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Maria Jose Castellanos as this year's Outstanding Faculty Award winner.
It's humbling to stand here tonight, because as I was trying to think what I wanted to say, I just wanted to say a word of thanks to everybody that has brought me here. Unfortunately, I can't say all the names of all the faculty that I would like to thank today. So what I can tell you is that those faculty not only come from co-ed, which is my college, but also from CAS and CNMS. You all make being here, I learn from you every day, and I try to strive to be just like you. I also want to thank the administration, especially Freeman and Phillip, who it's a true honor to see shared governance at work. I participate in it, and it's great. Keith, Bill, and Scott, I've worked with the 3 deans, and I've learned so much from all of you. My department, we have such a pretty cool place. It's amazing. It's a supporting community. Mark, thank you for becoming chair. And the rest of the faculty for supporting me when I made a choice. I decided to choose the road less traveled. I decided to follow a pathway of teaching and leadership through service, which at that time there were less positions for that, and you allowed me to do that. The next group is my students. So I counted, and it's 927 people have sat in my classes. So I'm going to round it to 1,000 by presidential numbers. I learned. They are truly my teachers. They inspire me. I want to try new things, strategies in class. I want to make them to think differently. And most importantly, they encourage me to really know them. So thank you. They leave a mark, and because I'm a teacher, I brought a prop. So I can show you how they leave marks. They painted a picture frame, then they took paint, they took their fingerprint, they put their fingerprint, and then each one of their names is in these. So these are the kind of UMBC students that we've been hearing about tonight. My friends, you accept me and you love me even though I have a lot of weaknesses. Lila, Jenny, and Niha, thank you for that. I also have to acknowledge my parents who made school and everything I did a joy, not a chore. My sister, to commemorate the award, she sent me a keychain that said, "I'm a teacher, what's your superpower?" Finally, Barantha, my husband, he stays in our Baltimore City house every day. He telecommutes to California to work at his company because he has committed a choice we made in the fact that I could not find any other place to do what I do but UMBC. So I thank you for that. Alexander and Theodore, my kids, who remind me to look up at the sky and smell the flowers every day. And I want to end by quoting our valedictorian from this year, Eudora, because we as faculty are privileged by this profession that we have chosen, and we have an enormous responsibility, and no matter our discipline, we need to model and make sure our students are learning to be comfortable with discomfort, uphold the value of diversity, and practice gratitude every day. Thank you very much.
I love it. Just amazing. Just a big round of applause for all of them, please. Amazing. Just amazing. Just amazing. Wow. Just amazing. Oh, amazing. Just in closing, I was taking notes, just thinking about what I had said to you about be inspired so much. Let me start by saying The older I get, the more I realize there's nothing in our lives more important than friends and family. So I'm going to ask all of the family members of all the awardees to please stand. Please. And Mrs. Hurd, Judge Hurd's mother, raise your hand. Judge Hurd's mother, raise your hand. Yes, thank you. All of you, thank you very much. None of us would be who we are without our families, whether it's parents and children and friends. And what we heard tonight, each person talked about friends for life. Each person had generations from the 60s all the way through the 90s to the 2000s, and people who are still there in organizations and sororities and others. We talked about service. You heard that over and over again, about community. You heard about the idea of thinking bravely and of critical thinking and of excellent communication skills. I saw a young woman who started off in inner city Baltimore, who's now the head of the American Institute of CPAs, who left here because she speaks in Jamaica tomorrow. I saw an amazing attorney who was a little girl who was determined to be an advocate for the deaf and whose dream is being fulfilled every day. I saw an economist who's a mathematician and economist living in Europe now, wearing his UMBC cap, working in the highest levels of economics in the world. I saw an amazing artist who goes between Korea and New York and all of that and here, and quite frankly, who's had a brilliant 16-year-old math major whom I helped to recruit, who's in the back of the room. Give him another round of applause. I saw a leading chief judge who was so excited to tell me about her mother who had come today and how proud she is of her mother who's here and went out to say that you're in the right place, and who has broken down all kinds of barriers and who could talk to us about Dorm 1 and Dorm 2 and Dorm 3 just as Mimi could talk about 1 building and 2 buildings and 3 buildings all up. And I saw a quilter who goes around the world, but who's with her husband at every basketball game. I can look right across, and when I'm not there, they say, how come you weren't there? They love that UMBC story, who have shown us what it means to be a UMBC couple. And amazingly, I saw a young woman who's been out of UMBC just a few years, who's now the director of social media for the New Yorker, the most prestigious of all, who gets up with such great humility to talk to us. And then I saw a person who would have been a little girl in Mexico, who comes to this country and wins the hearts of her students. And who's heard of a chemical engineering faculty bringing a piece of artwork, Keith, for people to see? Give her a round of applause just for that idea from a student. And perhaps most inspiring to me, I saw all of your faces. And I listened to them, and I was so deeply moved because you care so deeply about friends and families and education and UMBC. And I had one thought that I'm going to go back and tell all of my leading protesters that one day they're going to be judges and lawyers. And that's as it should be. They're learning about democracy, and artists, right? And humanists, they're learning about democracy on this campus. And so I close having been deeply moved by the speakers, but by all of you as our community. Of all the words said, from social justice to engagement, it is the notion of community, that we are all connected, from students and faculty and staff and alumni and friends. I close with words that I continue to use from Aristotle, who said that excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wisest choice among many options. And then he said something that continues to give me goosebumps. He said, choice, not chance, determines destiny. Choice, not chance, determines destiny. We choose excellence. Thank you all very much.